This is the best bob haircut for fine hair or even thin hair. Now, a bob haircut is a classic haircut that has been around for so many years. And first of all, I'm Steven, TheSalonGuy. Welcome to my in-house salon where I've retired from seeing clients over the years. I've had major celebrities from TV shows, some Netflix shows, all sorts of great people over the years sitting right there. But I've since retired from seeing clients. And I know a lot of you say, "SalonGuy, please, I'll fly out. Please cut my hair." I'm retired from seeing clients, so you can support me by buying my products, watching my videos here, subscribing, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to fine hair, this is something that I have a lot of experience with working on men and women over the 30 years I've been doing this, where I've seen all sorts of things, and a lot of times people want a bob haircut. Now, if you notice, right off the bat, this is kind of like an off-center or side parting. First things first, the reason that is, if you have finer hair, and if I were to part this down the middle, what would happen is you may end up seeing the scalp a little bit more, the hair could be thinner. If you're parting your hair over the side, what you're doing is you're actually taking more hair and making this side heavier and thicker, which will add some shape and some balance to it. So you're trying to build a rounded shape, okay? Now, any sort of bob, especially something like this, believe it or not, is a triangular shape, meaning that it goes from shorter to longer. So this is really, really good for someone who does have more of a rounded face, because triangular shapes always lean out the face. However, notice that I'm creating fullness into here because of it being layered and stacked into here. But also, there are layers up here too. It's just the way that I cut the hair is blended so nicely that they're kind of like invisible layers. So you're not seeing choppiness, you're not seeing any sort of, hacks. And let me know in the comments below if you've ever gotten a haircut and the hairstylist just completely butchered it and you see steps and it's all layered unevenly and just a complete crime scene on your head. Let me know in the comments below. You can even pause this video to type in the story. So, the reason that this works really well for finer hair types is the fact that even though it's looks like a one-length bob, when I went in and I cut this, what I did is I made sure that the hair was actually layered, okay? And this has to be layered a certain way because when you cut the hair like this is one side, and then because this side is longer and heavier, it actually has to be cut a little bit differently. So I was able to create a shape that, as you see, when I go like this, look what's happening. I'm actually creating some fullness. And yes, even though you're saying, but my hair is so fine, it's so thin, but that's what you're doing is you're building and you're stacking hair. You're taking it from one side and moving it over to create more thickness and bulk into here. And then what makes this more even and balanced is because there's not so much hair on this side. However, you're still getting this layered, so you're creating that fullness and that shape. And you can see just from right here, looking at this, look at all the volume that I've created just from doing that with my hands, okay? So if you want to go a little bit shorter, that's fine. If you want to create somewhat of a fringe in through here, like a sweeping fringe, that's totally cool. If you want to have your hair more flat to your head, like this, then once again, that is totally fine. It just depends on you and the kind of haircut and shape that you want. Now, when it comes to using the right products, what I always suggest is make sure that you are using a good quality shampoo. I have a thickening shampoo, which works wonders. It's full of, really, really high profile and high quality ingredients and extracts that actually help build fullness to the hair, and it's great for the scalp. A lot of organic ingredients as well. And then you can use something like my Tidal Wave Sea Salt Spray, which is a volumizing spray that it's my #1 best-selling product. Spray a few spritzes in, don't overspray it, and then when you blow dry your hair, it's going to help. Use a good round brush. I do have a round brush. I have a 2-inch and 2.5-inch round barrel ceramic ionic brush. When I'm blow drying this, depending on what you're looking for, I like to blow this all kind of forward this way. And when I blow dry it forward, I'm able to bring it back like so. So you want a brush, get it probably within that size range. I'd probably go with the 2.5-inch just to kind of get that smoothness, but also build that roundness and that volume, that shape. And then as far as a finishing spray, I would suggest something like my Locked hairspray, which is a matte texture type of spray. Imagine like a dry shampoo with a little bit of hold and texture, because you don't want anything that's going to weigh your hair down. You want something that's going to give it a little more lift and volume, and you want to actually create more of a matte type of look for something like this, because that matte look is going to help kind of bind the hair together, and that certain type of more dry texture or shape is going to make the hair thicker and bind together. Whereas other ones, it makes your hair look, very, very wet, and it separates the hair, and that's not good for fine hair. For fine hair, you always want to be kind of building and binding the hairs together to make them appear thicker. So, again, this is something where, and when you see the back here, do you have to get it stacked this high? No. You can have a bob like this, a one-length bob like that, and have some layers to it. You don't have to have it stacked so high like this. This is just one variation. If you want to have that fullness way up in through here, and you want to create that illusion of your hair is so much thicker, then you can stack it. You can stack it anywhere you want. The last thing about this is make sure that you find a hairstylist who does understand creating shapes like this, who is very thorough with helping you. They're walking you through this step by step. They're giving you all the same tips. And if you have any questions or you really found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 2 million subscribers. And if you want to purchase any of the products that I suggested, you can actually click right here, View Products, and you can buy them right here on YouTube. I have a full line and full range of products. Let me know if you enjoyed this whole kind of vibe in my salon space here. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon.